The brand new domestic Mercedes-Benz C-Class starts at $23,900. After subsidies, the price is as low as around $20,000. Imported Mercedes-Benz models are $30,000. After subsidies, around $20,000. At the Chengdu International Auto Show, the Audi A4 dropped to $35,000. In addition, car purchases are eligible for several subsidies. Chengdu local subsidies of $421, a national subsidy of $15,000, a provincial subsidy of $1,800, and a $280 subsidy for exclusive Douyin followers. BYD leaks come if you dare, lose more than half your money in a year. I, the owner of a BYD car, I picked it up 7 days ago and it caught fire before I got a license plate. All was on fire. Recently, news emerged from the Chinese auto market. At the Chengdu International Auto Show, luxury brands like Audi, Mercedes-Benz, and BMW slashed their prices significantly. The base price of a new Mercedes-Benz C-Class is approximately $26,700. and the Audi A4 is around $23,900. However, even with these big price cuts, sales remain sluggish. This reflects the severe challenges facing the Chinese auto market. Recently, a blogger commented that luxury brands like BMW, Mercedes-Benz, and Audi have fallen from grace. At an auto show, he asked a salesperson about the price of a Mercedes-Benz C-Class. The salesperson responded that if you choose the cheapest version, you can pay in full or with a loan. The current lowest quote is around $35,000 to $36,000, and there are discounts available which can even lower the price. Prices of other luxury models are also falling. The base price of a Mercedes-Benz C260L is about $26,000. With a loan, the price is the same. The entry-level Audi A4 around $23,000. With installment payments, the price is similar to the manufacturer's financing plan. The entry-level Audi Q5 costs around $30,000. The BMW 3 Series around $30,000. If purchased with a loan, the price is basically the same as paying in full. At the auto show, Zeekr, the company responsible for bulk vehicle supply, stated bluntly, "The reason is simple. The number of cars in China has far exceeded demand. Industry surveys show that most dealerships are operating at a loss, with overflowing inventories, yet automakers are still borrowing from state-owned banks to expand factories." According to the new economic news, the national auto inventory has surged to 3.5 million vehicles, a 2-year high. This inventory includes a large number of cars with zero mileage and used, many of which are being sold at 50 to 60% discounts. A large number of new vehicles with license plates and taxes included are entering the used car market and are sold directly as used vehicles. January to April is the peak buying period in the first half of the year, with strong sales, and most consumers with purchasing needs have already made a purchase. However, in July, joint venture car sales generally declined. This was partly due to rising vehicle prices and partly due to the elimination of high interest rates and high rebate policies. For example, Honda's sales fell 35%. BMW sales were just over 40,000 units, down nearly 10,000 from June. Audi sales fell by over 10,000 units, and Mercedes-Benz gasoline car sales fell 40%. In July, luxury car retail sales were only 30,000 units, a 29% decrease from the previous month. Even with current price cuts and promotions on many models, overall sales remain very sluggish. The auto market has seen another significant price drop. The reasons: first, national subsidies were reduced. Some cities still have subsidies, but on a smaller scale. New car prices rise and demand declines. Manufacturers are facing a large number of unsold vehicles, forcing them to cut prices to recover capital. Second, all automakers have bank loans that need to be repaid by the end of the year. Therefore, even at a loss, those backlogs must be sold. Third, in November, sales of new and used cars as well as exports to Russia will slow due to rapidly tightening emission standards, and sales will be lower than before. Some Russian consumers are slowing down their car purchases, impacting direct sales and necessitating price reductions in the domestic market.
它滞销，咱们国内一定要掉价。
The consulting firm Alex Partners predicts that of the 129 electric vehicle brands currently operating in China, only 15 may survive until 2030. Great Wall Motors chairman Wei Jianjuan has even bluntly stated that the auto industry's evergrande moment has arrived. The chief economists of the conference board also warned that overcapacity and price wars are mutually reinforcing, trapping the entire industry in a vicious cycle. Financial reports are equally shocking. In the first half of 2024, the combined net profit of 30 listed automakers was only $5.3 billion, while Toyota earned over $30 billion annually. Why has the situation come to this? The answer lies in government policy. For over a decade, the Chinese government has consistently invested in subsidizing the so-called new energy vehicles. From 2009 to 2017, massive investments and development plans were implemented. Local governments, driven by tax revenue and employment, even offered land at low prices to attract new factories. As a result, in 2024, national auto production capacity reached 55 million vehicles, nearly double market demand. The flip side of overcapacity is a brutal price war. A survey by the China Automobile Dealers Association shows that only 30% of dealers are still profitable, with the majority selling vehicles at 20% below cost. To meet their targets, some dealers are willing to offer heavy rebates or even sell at a loss. Some manufacturers are inflating sales figures, packaging unsold new cars as 0-kilometer used cars and funneling them into the gray market. Thousands of brand new cars are abandoned in so-called car graveyards, creating a shocking scene. On a mountain in Kunming, thousands to tens of thousands of unsold new cars are parked, covering the entire mountain. These cars are facing being scrapped. These once popular cars are now facing a sales slump. In my estimation, within the next 5 years, not only will new cars be difficult to sell, but also the used ones. This is partly due to the rapid pace of vehicle replacements and partly because the large inventory of the used car market cannot be absorbed. The mountain of new cars demonstrates this market oversupply. Against this backdrop, the plight of BYD, the world's largest electric vehicle manufacturer, becomes all the more emblematic. Since May of this year, BYD's domestic deliveries in China have declined 10% year-on-year, breaking its tail of continuous growth. The company's August financial report showed its first quarterly decline in net profit in 3 years, a 30% drop. The stock price plummeted 8%, wiping out over $6 billion in a single day. In just 4 months, BYD's market value evaporated by approximately $45 billion. More notably, Warren Buffett recently sold all of his BYD shares, a move that immediately caused a stir. Reports indicate that after 17 years, Berkshire Hathaway has finally fully exited the Chinese electric vehicle giant BYD. This move officially marks the end of a highly anticipated cross-border investment. Berkshire Hathaway has confirmed the news, stating that it sold all of its BYD 8 shares. BYD has not yet responded to this report. It's widely believed that industry insiders have already foreseen BYD's difficult future. Buffett has also sold all of his shares in BYD. I believe Buffett and I may be focusing on the same core issue. For example, in 2024, BYD's overall profit reached $5.56 billion. However, what's puzzling is that while such a company is generating high profits, it's also heavily using extended credit terms and commercial acceptance bills to defer payments. From a business perspective, high profits and large-scale payment delays cannot coexist, and this is precisely the problem. Recently, there were even rumors that BYD had quietly lowered its 2025 sales target from 5.5 million vehicles to 4.6 million. The core issue lies in policy changes. In the past, BYD relied on a low-price strategy and massive government subsidies to rapidly rise. However, since the subsidies were phased out at the end of 2022, the cost of purchasing a car has risen, forcing automakers to rely on price wars to increase sales. BYD relied on this to win the market in 2023, but now, with authorities tightening regulations and curbing excessive price cuts, its key advantage is being eroded. Even more serious is the cash flow problem. Regulators require automakers to pay suppliers within 60 days, while BYD's average payment period used to be 275 days. Shortening payment cycles has instantly strained its capital chain. While overseas markets have brought some profit growth, brewing restrictions on Chinese electric vehicles in Europe and the US have cast a shadow on BYD's export strategy. Meanwhile, oversupply in the domestic market and delays in new model launches have exacerbated investor concerns. Looking back at BYD's development, it started as a battery factory in 1995, entered the automotive industry in 2003, and reshaped its brand image in 2016. With massive subsidies from Beijing, it once became a leader in China's new energy vehicle market. However, it is now facing unprecedented challenges. Furthermore, the entire Chinese auto industry faces a fundamental contradiction. The government's focus on protecting jobs and tax revenues, while automakers' focus on profitability and survival, is nearly impossible to reconcile. Will China's auto industry move toward healthy competition in the future, or continue to be mired in internal competition? This not only affects BYD's fate, but also the stability of the entire Chinese economy. To make matters worse, BYD's market reputation has been steadily eroding. Recently, a car mechanic revealed on social media that while repairing a BYD Chin Plus, he disassembled the compressor and discovered a rare chemical reaction inside, which continuously emitted white smoke.
哎呀，我这修个车都修出花来了。这是一台比亚迪的秦 Plus， 空调坏了。我说那空调坏了就修呗。
While repairing a BYD Chin Plus, I encountered a very unusual situation. The air conditioner was malfunctioning, so I removed the compressor for inspection. When I disassembled the compressor, I discovered an unusual reaction inside, producing smoke. However, it wasn't combustion, but a chemical reaction. I've never seen this phenomenon in my over 20 years of experience. It seems as if the foreign object is in the compressor and smoke continued to be produced. Even when I blew air through it, the smoke temporarily dissipated but reappeared after a while. The odor was very pungent, so we were careful not to inhale it. Even when we poured water on it, smoke continued to come out. The entire process was very unusual, indicating a serious quality issue with the compressor.
吹没了吧，一会儿又出来了。哎呀，啥味儿啊？这啥味儿？这块也是，你看这烟又出来了。你这起反应白了，吹完有反应就白。我操，咱不能修中毒了吧？这个一浇水就冒烟，这。
Some netizens commented that they bought a BYD for over $30,000, and in less than 2 years, just one summer, the steering wheel had peeled off. This quality is truly ridiculous. It's worse than a van. Who would dare to buy a car like this?
你看你们这个质量问题，这个
Look at this quality issue. This steering wheel, it's melted in the hot weather. Look, it's completely broken. How to fix this?
这个怎么处理？
One netizen pointed out that he's had this car for 3 years and has replaced almost every part.
兄弟们，我让你们看看这比亚迪，22年到现在已经买了3年了。
I've been using this BYD since 2022, 3 years now. During these 3 years, I replaced so many parts that it's practically a complete car. A couple of days ago, I noticed large areas of paint peeling off the wipers. Wipers are supposed to be very basic components of a car, so the paint peeling off in whole pieces demonstrates very poor quality. In addition, the car has experienced the following replacement or repairs. The door handles won't sense the key, the taillights don't work properly, the memory seats won't remember settings, and the blower makes an unusual noise. The seat noise has been replaced 3 times but hasn't been completely resolved. This car has now traveled nearly 48,000 kilometers with so many parts replaced. In total, it's almost equivalent to the cost of a complete car.
到现在你说换了多少东西了？换了东西能他妈穿一辆车了？
Some netizens bluntly stated that they don't recommend buying BYD cars.
比亚迪的车坚决不能买啊，因为它会随时把你丢在荒郊野外。
Buying BYD cars is not recommended because they may malfunction in unmanned locations. At 8 p.m. on February 24th, 2025, I was driving my BYD Song Plus in the Qingshan Lake Scenic Area in Hangzhou when the car malfunctioned for no apparent reason and ended up parked in an underground garage. The garage was empty, both sides were unused, and the fuel and battery levels were full, but the car wouldn't start. After opening the car, the screen displayed external power detected. Please disconnect the charging cable and start the car without a charging box plugged in and drive in gear. I applied the brakes and pressed the start button, but the car still didn't respond. I repeatedly restarted the car, but the message still indicated an external power problem. I called customer service at 408-303-666 several times, but no one answered. The lines were always busy. An hour later, the car's battery was down to 20%, and the temperature in the underground garage was nearing 0 degrees Celsius, and no one was around. I didn't know what to do.
20%的电量，景区的地库里面非常了，接近0度。
Overall, the Chinese auto market is facing unprecedented challenges, which are all intertwined. Overcapacity, price wars, tightening policies, and declining consumer confidence. This has plunged the entire industry into a predicament. BYD's situation is just the tip of the iceberg. Whether the future auto market can escape the quagmire of price wars and internal competition and establish a healthy and sustainable competitive landscape will not only determine the survival of companies, but also affect the stability of the Chinese economy and consumer confidence. That's all for today. If you enjoy our content, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with a friend. We appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time.